Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme, gaming chairs or ergonomic chairs.
People have very strong and passionate opinions, but here we have a brand new combination of both of the aforementioned things, and that is the Secretlab Atlas. It's a gaming chair, it's an ergo chair, it's a gaming ergo chair.
Either way, my brain short-circuited and I just immediately bought it. Link in the description.
I spent some time putting the chair together just the other day, and since I have like 100 Titan Evos in my house at the moment, and I know you guys would ask, so
in this video, we'll look beyond the surface level similarities. So if you've been scratching your head trying to decide, or you finally can't stand sitting on a plastic kitchen chair, let's find out which one's right for you. Without further ado,
here's the Secretlab Atlas versus the Secretlab Titan Evo 2022. If you know anything about the Atlas, you know that it's what we call a task chair. It's meant for you to be doing long work sessions, while this one right here is meant for gaming, but honestly, both of them are pretty good for both purposes.
Though both of them are listed as being ergonomic,
which basically comes from Greek words ergon for work and nomos, basically laws.
Stereotypically, a task chair should be used for tasks and a gaming chair for gaming, but in reality, they kind of cross over because those are just seated activities. Props why the company has a whole page dedicated to this topic. Oh, but a small practical aside.
Given that a task chair is for doing tasks, you might think that, well, if I'm doing a Zoom call or conferencing with a boss or something like that, then maybe something like this might be more suitable because it's a bit more muted and it's not going to show up on camera in the same way.
But honestly, it doesn't matter because you're going to be covering most of the chair anyway. Beyond all that,
it doesn't matter whether you're doing office work or gaming. At the end of the day, you are doing the same thing. You are planting your butt down and you are trying to get your back supported in some way, shape or form. Now, both of these are what we call like high back chairs. Like they have a high backrest, so they're not kind of like your standard issue ergonomic chairs where they may not have a headrest or anything like that. And actually, yeah, the concept of headrest doesn't really apply here because these things are built in such a way that it's high enough that you don't end up having your head like spill over. Both of these chairs have these magnetic attachable pillows right here. And you might notice that there's this weird recession over here where the pillow is meant to fit. I will say that the pillow on the Atlas fits a little bit more wonkily.
I mean, they're soft and everything, but using them is really a matter of personal preference. Admittedly, I do like it without the pillow sometimes just for more neck motion, but that's just me. Next, let's focus on the seat. I like the Titan Evo seat a lot. I mean, it's huge, it's curved, you can cross your legs on it. The Atlas is kind of smaller, so it forces you to sit more correctly on average. It's not uncomfortable even if you cross over to the side, because the edges are soft, so even if you cross your legs like this, then you won't really feel that much. Bit easier to fall off because of the angle though. But having said that,
let's talk about the big kahuna, the back comfort. Now, those of you who own the Titan Evo 2022, you know that this chair is big on lumbar support. I can adjust not just the depth or how deep the lumbar support goes, but also how high it is for my unique back. You can't really do that with the Atlas, but just out of the box, it's designed in such a way that you technically don't need it.
And to be honest, I don't adjust the Titan Evo's lumbar support a lot. It's just more of like a set and forget type thing.
And just from sitting on both of these chairs in upright orientation, I can say that the Atlas curve feels a lot better than it does on the Titan even after adjustment.
I mean, I've tested it in a couple of different situations ever since getting the chair, and yeah, I think that it is better than the Titan Evos.
Now let's talk about a major difference, which is the way that these chairs recline. See, those of you who are familiar with gaming chairs, you probably know that you can do this and treat your chair like a bed, which may or may not be something that you want, I don't know. But you aren't gonna get that on the Atlas. The recline on this thing is only gonna go all the way up till here. So it's pretty much gonna limit you to just like a leaning back position. So you can rest maybe, but you're probably not gonna be treating this as an extra bit.
You can call this synchronous tilt, and I guess
that this whole mechanism is inspired by the Herman Miller harmonic tilt mechanism, such that it basically keeps your back and your legs just kind of like aligned in such a way that you can kind of continue functioning even while you're in the middle of a recline.
Oh, and since my arms are resting so nicely there,
let's talk about armrests. The armrests on the Titan Evo 2022 are removable. You can actually pull them off, they are detachable and magnetically reattachable.
And yeah, both of these chair armrests are
multi-directional, in, out, front, back.
The Atlas armrests do feel a little higher quality to me though, like a little smoother and less easy to notice while you're actually doing stuff. But anyway, let's go to the bottom of the chair.
Now, both of these chairs allow you to lock the tilt, meaning that you end up with a chair such that this entire thing just becomes a slab and you can't push it back. But the Atlas has a new and interesting feature, which is what we call the tilt force feature. Basically what this does is that it lets you choose how hard the chair actually pushes back. So if you're a little bit lighter, then this means that you can actually choose to have the chair push back more lightly on you. So by default, you end up in this sort of like leaning position while you're working. But on the other hand, if you have it heavier, then it becomes just harder for you to push it all the way back, which means that the chair can kind of leave you in a sort of like suspension position. Titan Evo actually has the whole tilt force thing as well, except it's located in a much more inconvenient place and you kind of have to like turn it right over here, which kind of does help you to get the job done, but it's just a lot easier on the Atlas where it's just zoop, zoop. Just like that. Now there's one last feature I do want to talk about, and that is definitely not present on the Titan Evo at all. Seat depth adjustment. A lot of you watched my old videos about sizing a long time ago. You were freaking out about whether you should get a small, regular, or XL because the size actually matters a ton, while on the other hand, the Atlas only comes in 2 sizes. But I think that the Atlas sizing is a lot more forgiving, basically because of this baby right here. It doesn't really matter as much how long your legs are, because if you're taller, then you can move it out. If you're shorter, then maybe move it in. Now this is important because with the Titan, if you get a somewhat smaller person to sit on this chair right here, then what's gonna happen is that they probably can't even use the backrest properly. If I were a smaller guy, you can just imagine that my legs right here wouldn't even reach the edge of the seat, and what would happen is that I would have to slouch, I wouldn't be able to use this backrest at all, and that kind of defeats the purpose of the chair. But with the Atlas here, I don't have that problem, and much fewer people would have that problem, I think, just because of the way that the seat depth adjustment works. So at the end of the day, what can we say about both of these chairs? Well, as many of you know, I used the Titan 2020 and the 2022 to support my back the first time I even started thinking that maybe back pain could be an issue. And all of the chairs have worked great. But overall, if I just wanted to get one chair at the end of the day, sorry to say, but my choice would not be the Titan. I'd probably go with the Atlas at this point.
And if you've only had gaming chairs all this while, this could be an interesting entry point.
At $519, it is a steal compared to some of the higher end ergonomic chairs like the Aeron and the Embody. Now obviously, as the Chinese people say, 一分钱一分货. Those chairs are a lot more sophisticated in a bunch of different ways, and I still make use of those a bit more in my day-to-day.
Cause if you still want to go the plastic chair route, then I have nothing to say.
But if you're looking for a strong daily driver that's going to keep you well supported and that pretty much has almost any feature that you would need to actually keep you locked in, focused, and doing your thing, I don't think you can go wrong with the Secretlab Atlas. It's got pretty much all the ergonomic features that even some of the top class ergo chairs have. Adjustable arms, a sleek design, seat depth, tilt lock, a nice recline. Though it's supposed to just be an ergonomic chair, I think it's also pretty good for gaming as well, or pretty much anything that needs you to just hashtag lock in for the longest of times.
At like a quarter of the price.
Of course, if you're sore about the whole lack of designs, I think maybe you can wait for a couple of months or something, and maybe they're gonna have some sort of fancy partnership. But honestly, the difference between the quality of the chairs isn't so big as to be a determining factor.
Though the Atlas is probably going to be the better investment for your back over time.
If you really cannot tahan or cannot stand it, then yeah, just pick up the Titan Evo. It's gonna give you a good experience too. Anyway, what do you think? Which chair do you prefer? The Titan or the Atlas? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. That's all I have to say about that, and bye.